Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game, and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we talking about getting unstuck, getting out of the middle. And what I mean by being in the middle is this. I don't know if any of you have heard the cliche before. You don't want to get in a position where things are not great. You don't want to be in a position in life where things are not great. They're not perfect the way you want it, but it's also not bad enough to force you to actually make some changes. You don't want to be stuck in the middle of things are not so bad that you're like, damn, I absolutely had to do something to change what I'm doing in life right now, but they're also not ideal. You're not in a position where things are going the way they want to. I got 1.6 million. Are we trying to get to 2 million? 1.6 is too close to 2 to not get it. So we're trying to get to 2 million hearts, but I need people to tap the screen to do that. And it's kind of like the bell curve. Any of y'all familiar with a bell curve? You might not know about that name, but all of you have seen it. Bell curve is simple, where they got the curve, where there's a small amount at the bottom, there's a whole bunch of people in the middle, and there's a small amount at the top. Or people, numbers, anything you're talking about. The bell curve is a few at the end, low end, a whole bunch in the middle, and a few at the high end. So what you want to do, what I'm telling you in life, of what my aim is, just to give y'all an overview of who I am, my aim is to empower as many people as possible. And by empowering you, I want to put you in a position mentally, emotionally, where you know that you don't want to be stuck in the middle where all the average people are at. Because all of us know that the middle is average, right? And if you go up to any person in life, any person you walk up to today and ask them, hey, are you average? Or do you want to be average in life? Almost everybody will tell you no, right? But it's impossible for everybody to not be average, because that's what makes everybody average, right? So thinking that you're not average or not wanting to be average is not enough, because that's what everybody's doing, because that just makes you just like everybody else. So what you're aiming to do is to get completely out of the box, so that you're not even doing the things that everybody else is doing or thinking the things that everybody else is doing, because that's what gets you stuck in the middle in the first place. So what we're talking about here is this: how to get unstuck, how to get yourself out of the middle, how to get yourself out of the average, get yourself out of the place where you might be in a rut. Any of you ever been in a situation where you felt like your life was, you're living and you all right, like you in an okay position, like your necessities are taken care of, you might have a good job or good business going, you got some good relationships, but it's just not exciting, like it's not popping off, like you're not jumping out of bed every single day. You're not excited about the things that you're doing. You're not excited about your relationships, excited about your sports team, excited about your business, excited about your finances, excited about what you have going on over the next 24 hours, what you got going on over the next 6 months. Any of you ever been in that situation before? That's kind of like being stuck in the middle. So what I'm going to talk about this morning, I'm going to tell you 3 ways that you're going to get yourself out of being stuck in the middle, and exactly how you're going to do it. Why and how you're going to get yourself out of the middle. And if y'all ready for me to tell that, please tap the screen for the heart right now. So can I get some heartbeat in here? Shout out to Hamburg, Germany, whoever that is that just left that comment. But we're going to get into that this morning, how we can get ourselves unstuck out of the middle. All right, here it is. But you kind of stuck. You know that you want to make some changes, but maybe you haven't been able to enact those changes. Maybe you haven't been able to move yourself to actually take action. People saying the connection's been bad. All right, well, let me know how the connection is now. Let me know the connection's good, and we'll continue. What's up, Muhammad? Checking in from Bahrain. Is the connection good now? Can I get a yes, no, maybe? Better now? We good on the connection, everybody? Can everybody hear me and see me right now clearly? Before I get into the 3 steps is going to get you unstuck, getting you out of the middle. Good, yes, no, yeah, I'm getting the yeses and nos right now. Where are we at connection-wise? Can I get a clear consensus from the audience? What's up, Chris Gospel? Yes, we good? We good now? All right. So 3 steps to get you unstuck, to get you out of the middle. Here's step number 1. Look at what you're doing right now. Look at your current life situation right now and ask yourself this question. If I stayed doing what I'm doing right now, living how I'm living right now, performing how I'm performing right now, in whatever sport, business, relationship, whatever it is, if I keep performing and living the way that I am now, where will I be in 5 years? That's the first question you ask yourself. If I keep doing this, where will I be in 5 years? There was a point where I had a relationship with somebody, and I felt like I was kind of stuck in the middle. Like, it wasn't so terrible that I was like, I have to do something, but it also wasn't great. I wasn't excited about it. So I asked myself that question. I said, if I stay in this situation for the next 5 years, where will I be? And I didn't like the answer to that question. So you know what I had to do? I had to get out of that relationship, get out of that situation, and make some changes, which wasn't convenient at the time. It was definitely not convenient. It caused some hardship. It caused a lot of things that I had to do that I probably wouldn't want to do at the moment. But the power of the answer to that question was stronger than the convenience of staying in the situation. So that's the reason why you ask yourself that question. If I keep doing what I'm doing right now, let's say you're somebody who's out of shape. You're not in shape. You don't eat that well. Your body's not in the greatest situation, but it's not an emergency because you didn't have a heart attack or the doctor didn't tell you was about to die. So it's kind of all right. Ask yourself this question. If I stay like this for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, where will I be? Now, if you don't like the answer to that question, see, the thing is, the answer to that question has to be strong enough to move you to action. That's the thing. See, it's one thing if you just say, oh, well, if I keep doing this, it'll just be all right. It'll be okay. It'll be bad, but not that bad. If that's the answer, it's not going to move you to action. The answer to that question has to be strong enough to move you to action. Here's the number 2 thing you want to do. Number 2 thing you're going to do to get yourself unstuck out of the middle is this. Examine every single thing that you're doing, every action that you're taking every day, habitually, or even actions that you take today, every action you took over the last 24 hours and the next 48 hours, every action you take, and anything that you're doing that is not producing the desired result, stop doing it. That's a very obvious, that seems like a very simple, very common sense, very obvious point, but you'd be surprised how many people habitually are doing things in their lives that are not producing any type of results. So I'm going to say it one more time. Look at every action you've taken over the last 24 hours and every action you will take over the next 24 to 48 hours. Anything that you're doing that is not producing a desired result. So first of all, you got to know what your desired results are. If you don't know, then first of all, examine what those are. Look at everything you're doing. Anything that is not producing a desired result, stop doing it. Everybody follow me right there. I remember one time, this girl that I used to date, she used to like us to go spend like the weekend with her parents. And I didn't like spending the weekend with her parents. Because whenever we spent the weekend with her parents, I couldn't go to the gym like I wanted to. I couldn't do my work on the computer like I wanted to. It was basically completely inconvenient for me. And at the same time, I didn't enjoy her parents enough to deal with the inconvenience. So there came a point where I was like, yo, I'm not going to your parents' house no more. And y'all can figure out how that relationship ended. But I told her, listen, I'm not going to your parents' house no more because it's not allowing me to produce my desired result. My desired result is more important than pleasing you or your parents. So I had to get rid of it. Now that might seem like a selfish thing to do. It might seem harsh or mean, but guess what? What do I tell people? What do I tell you all the time? Your number 1 priority is to yourself. Your first priority is always to yourself. So that means you have to displease other people in order for you to take care of yourself first, and that's what you got to do. So number 2 is anything that you're doing that is not producing the desired result, which means you must know what your desired result is, get rid of it. All right, next thing. Here's the 3rd thing you need to do. If you feel like you're stuck in the middle, look at someone who is maybe in the same field as you, who may be doing some of the same things as you. You may have some similarities or commonalities with this person, but they're further ahead. They seem to be not stuck. They seem to be getting some type of desired result that you're not getting. You look at that person, and then you look at yourself, and you ask yourself this question. Who is that person being, and what is that person doing that I am not being and doing? And then do everything you need to do to close that gap. That's basically what I just told you right there is pretty much life success principle broken down into 30 seconds. I'm going to repeat it so everybody catch it if you want to write it down. Look at someone who is more successful than you by your measure, whatever you consider to be success. Someone who has it at a higher level than you, and they're in some similar areas than you are. You might get multiple people. Like let's just say you write books, and there's somebody who's more successful at writing books than you can steal from that person. And let's say you also play a sport, and there's somebody who's more successful than you in the sport than you can take from that person in that area. And let's say there's somebody who has a wife and kids, and they're more successful with their wife and kids than you. There might be 3 different people, but you're just taking certain parts from those people's lives. So it doesn't have to be one person, but y'all get what I'm saying. So look at that person who's doing better than you in whatever area it is. Might be everything, might be one simple thing. And ask yourself this question. Who is that person being, and what is that person doing that I am not being and doing that is causing them to get that result? And what you do once you get the answer to that question is you do everything in your power to close that gap. That's what you do. So I'm going to repeat that one last time. Find somebody who's more successful than you, doing better than you in any area. Ask yourself, who are they being? Because we know the concept of be, do, have, right? You got to be the person first, who does the thing second, who gets the reward third. So you got to be the person first. You don't skip to the action part. You got to be the person first. Because if you do the right actions while you're being the wrong person, you don't get the result. It's kind of like if you do something without the right type of energy, people don't buy into it. So who are they being? What are they doing that I'm not doing? Close that gap. So let me repeat those three, and then I'm going to take a question if anybody got any questions. So what we're saying is getting unstuck, getting out of the middle of life, getting out of the rut where you feel like it's not that bad that you have to change, but it's also not that good that you're excited about it. You want to get out of the middle, which is where most people live their entire lives. You don't want to be that person because you're not average. We lost connection again. What about now? Can everybody hear me and see me now? Can we finally finish this? Can everybody hear me and see me? So the connection went out first, then the sound. I never seen the sound go out on the Periscope stream. But anyway, we back one more time. Everybody can hear me and see me now. We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to recap the 3 steps because we're talking about getting unstuck, getting out of the middle. I'll reintroduce myself at the end. All right, we good. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't catch the beginning of this stream, you catching it right now. You can watch the previous stream I just finished a couple minutes ago, where I'm talking about how to get unstuck, how to get out of the middle, how to get out of a situation in life where things are not so terrible that you must change, but they're also not so great that you're excited and happy about it. So how to get out of that middle, how to get out of that average phase of life. So let me recap the 3 steps because I went over them already. So if you missed that, look at the previous scope, but I'm going to recap them right here real quick. Step number 1 is that you need to project what you're doing right now, project your life out over the next 5 years and ask yourself this question. If I keep doing what I'm doing, if I keep living how I'm living, keep being how I'm being, keep being around the people I'm around, where will my life be in the next 5 years? And the answer to that question must motivate you. It must move you to take action to make changes. So that's the first question. Ask yourself, where will I be 5 years from now if I keep doing if I keep eating like this, if I stay in this relationship, if I stay working at this job, if I stay performing the way I am, if I stay with these habits, where will I be 5 years from now? If you don't like that answer, you'll be moved to action. Here's the second thing that you do. Anything that you're doing right now that is not producing your desired results for life, stop doing it. So what you need to be able to do to get to number 2 is you need to know what your desired results are. If you have no idea what your results for life are, then you can't do step 2. But step 2 is a requirement to get out of the middle. So first of all, figure out what you want in life. What are your desires in life? It doesn't have to be one main thing. It can be 20 things, but you need to know what they are. What are your goals in life? And look at every single action that you've taken over the last 24 hours and every action you take over the next 24 hours. Add those together and look at them and ask yourself with a very cold, unforgiving eye, what actions am I taking that are not getting me closer to producing my desired results in life? And if anything you're doing is not getting you closer to producing that desired result, stop doing it. If it's a person you're hanging with, if it's a phone call you keep taking, if it's an hour you're spending doing something that's not getting you closer to it, if it's people that you're around, whatever it is, stop doing it. Any hobbies that you got, any habits, any certain foods that you're eating, things that you're drinking, something you're smoking, if it's not getting you closer to your goals in life, stop doing it. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to know what your goals are. So make sure you have some goals in life. If you don't know what your goals are in life, I got videos on YouTube to talk about that. I'm going to have a book coming out this year talking about that as well. Number 3. Here's the number 3 thing to get out of unstuck in the middle. Find somebody who is more successful than you in whatever area you're looking to become successful. Might be more than one area. Find somebody who has more success than you in that area. Examine what they're doing and ask yourself this question. Who is this person being and what is this person doing that I am not being and doing? And then you do everything you need to do to close the gap between where they at and where you at, which means everything you need to change. You just got your answer by asking who are they being and what are they doing that I'm not? And then you close that gap, get as close as you can to that, and then you will be getting those results because that person has more success than you based on your perception of what success is. So first of all, in order for you to do these things, number 1, you need to know what your goals are. Number 2, what is your definition of success? How do you define being successful? If you can't answer those questions, then you can't do these steps. So you got to go backwards. So this is a little bit more advanced conversation for those of you who already have goals, already know what you see as success. So you got to know those things before you do the rest. Can I take any questions from anybody? You can post them now. For those who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as DreAllDay. My background, professional athlete. I'm a professional speaker, coach, and consultant, author of 5 books. Somebody asked, what do I mean? Who are they being? I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Speak on the topics of confidence, discipline, self-belief, brand building, social media, marketing, content marketing. And I got 6 books out right now. Did I say 5? I got 6 books out right now. I got 9 more books coming in 2016. The last one I put out is more of a photo book. It's called the Insta Philosophers. It's like some of my best posts from Instagram. I put it all together in a book. So it's not really a book for reading with words. It's a book where you really look at the pictures and read the captions. That's all it is. How do you prevent yourself from falling back into the old life? By doing the 3 steps that I just told you. How do you figure out the 3rd step without actually talking to that individual? You don't have to talk to nobody. Listen, if I'm a singer and I want to get better at singing, I can look at Beyonce. I might never meet Beyonce, but I can say, who is she being and what is she doing? All right, and I can look at her through social media. I can read articles about her. I can read her interviews. I can watch her. Sometimes she got interviewed on YouTube. I could read a profile somebody did of her in GQ, and then I can start to close the gap. I can get a lot of information about her without actually meeting that person. So you don't have to meet somebody to get an idea of who they're being and what they're doing. You could just look at them. If you know that they're already more successful than you, then obviously you know what they're doing, and obviously you know something about who they're being, because how else would you know that they're more successful than you? So the question is actually the answer is actually in your question. So someone asked, what do I mean by how they're being? How they're being is what you have to understand is that the frame of mind in which you do things is very important. It infects the way that you actually do them. So when I say being, the be, do, have principle means you must be a person first who does the thing second. A lot of people skip at the step of being. They start taking actions. Let's just say, for example, here's the example. We'll use Beyonce again. Let's say I'm a singer and I want to be as successful as Beyonce. So I start doing everything Beyonce's doing. I start dancing, I start making videos, I start booking studio time, and I start making songs. But here's a big problem. I don't have any singing ability. So I'm skipping the being part. The first thing that Beyonce's being is, number one, she's confident in her singing ability. Why? Because she can actually sing. So if I don't have no confidence in my singing ability, but I start making songs and making videos and dancing, and I ain't got no dancing ability, I don't have any instruction. Nobody's ever taught me like people taught her, and like she had people who knew how to do it, who could instruct her. If I don't do those things, if I don't take those steps to become someone who's actually good before I start taking the actions of someone who's good, then I'm not going to get any results. All that studio time's wasted. I'll make a bunch of songs nobody wants to hear. I'm gonna do a bunch of dances nobody is emulating, and it's not gonna get any results because I skipped the being part. So you must be something first. You must actually be good at singing before you start selling music. Does that make sense? So the first step is you must be. Let's say somebody wanted to be Stephen Curry. You know, basketball players come to me and say, how can I get good like Steph Curry? Because he's the guy right now. So they want to do all the dribbling drills. They want to do his moves. They want to take everything he does in a game. They want to copy it. They're like, well, I heard Stephen Curry shot the ball this many times in practice. I heard Kyrie Irving practice dribbling with a plastic bag. And I heard this guy did this. And they want to do all the things those guys do. But they skip the being part. The being part is those people were coachable, first of all, to somebody who was more successful than them. They got the information from somebody who had done it before. They got a trainer, somebody who actually knew how to teach it. So they got the be part down first. And a lot of people skip the being part. And a lot of the being part has to do with self-discipline, ladies and gentlemen. It's not easy. It's not fun. It's not exciting. There's no fanfare to it, but people want to skip that part and go right to the highlights because they don't want to do the work. And then people wonder, well, listen, if you know Stephen Curry's whole workout, because right here on YouTube, if it's right there available for everybody to see, why is there still only one Steph Curry? That's because everybody's skipping the being part and they're skipping right to the doing. They want to get right to doing what Steph Curry does, but they forgot about the being part, and that's why there's only one Steph Curry. That's why there's only one Beyonce, because people want to skip the part that nobody saw on TV, the part that doesn't get the fanfare, the part that's not exciting, the part that doesn't get everybody talking about it is the boring, laborious discipline part that people skip. And people lack discipline, and that's why they try to skip to the do part. They skip over the be and they never get there. So that's what I mean by being, if that answers your question. I think that was M5 who answered that question. So just to recap everything that I said over those be, do, have is a different principle, but we talking about getting unstuck out of the middle. Project yourself over the next 5 years. You don't like what you see, change things. Number 2, stop doing anything that's not working. Number 3, what was number 3? Somebody remind me what number 3 was. I can't even remember. Some don't understand the sacrifices for success. Exactly. They wouldn't understand it until they actually start doing things. Do I have videos on discipline? Of course I do. I got videos on everything that I talk about. Everything that I talk about here on Periscope, I've talked about before in some way, shape, or form. I might put it in a different way, maybe use different examples and illustrations, but also it's people watching me right now who never heard of me before. So they got to hear these messages for the first time. So you'll hear certain things, you'll hear certain principles from me more than once. What's the having part about? Having part is the results. Yes. Close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. There you go. Thank you. Close the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Thank you, XATOM. I appreciate that. What's up, Mimi? Get it, join. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as DreAllDay. I got a website called DreAllDay.com. I'm an author, entrepreneur, professional speaker, professional athlete, coach, and consultant. Overall, I'm just a salesperson. What I do is sell. I sell ideas, I sell confidence, I sell products and services, I sell books, I sell training programs. I sell people an idea paying attention to what I got to say. That's what I am. I am a sales person. If you don't like selling, you better get good at selling, because we're all selling. You're either doing it well or you're doing it terribly. We are all in the business of sales. Influencing someone, persuading someone, getting somebody to pay attention to you, that's all a sale. If you're not good at doing those things, you're just not good at sales. You need to get better. But I'm writing a book on sales this year. I got 10 books coming out in 2016. The first one, I just told you, called the Insta Philosophers. Not really a reading book with a lot of words in it. It's more like a lot of pictures. Post from Instagram with the captions. It's 99 cents. Put it out on iBooks and Kindle. But I got more written books coming up. The next one is going to be about, the next book I put out is going to be about 800 pages long. I ain't gonna let the cat out the bag yet, but it's coming out. I got some cushion now. I don't smoke. All right, so for those of you watching me for the first time, make sure you follow me here on Periscope. If you want to hit me directly, you can email me, Dre@DreAllDay.com, business inquiries, speaking requests, coaching consultant inquiries, Dre@DreAllDay.com. No, not an encyclopedia, but it's going to be pretty close. The Dre Encyclopedia. And if you want to hit me more indirectly, you can hit me on Snapchat @Dre Baldwin. Instagram is also @Dre Baldwin. My Twitter, of course, is @DreAllDay. And I got a Facebook page /work on your game. And I don't know, is Facebook dying? Do people still use Facebook? Those of y'all out there, do y'all still go to Facebook to get information? Or do you just use it like to talk to people that you already know, like your family and friends? Facebook seemed kind of slow. Facebook is dying. All right, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's just my Facebook page or is it all Facebook? Facebook kind of dying. All right, Facebook's for old people. All right, cool. What's the thing right now? Is it Snapchat? Is that the thing for this generation, Snapchat? Well, I'm on Snapchat anyway, but if it's something else that I don't know about, I need to know, because I need to know how to reach people. My aim, for those of you who don't know me, my aim is to empower people, empower as many people as possible. So I can't empower people if I'm going where nobody's at. Instagram, Twitter, okay, Kick. I never got into Kick. Okay, people try to bring you down, distract you from reaching your goal. What do? You don't have to do nothing. Focus on your goal. How much what? IBRDAA, what you asking me for? Oh, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat are the things? Well, good, because I'm on all three. My Instagram and Snapchat is my name, Dre, D-R-E, Baldwin. My Twitter is @DreAllDay. So if y'all want to contact me, since people are telling me that Facebook's dying, Facebook's for old people. I mean, I'm still on Facebook. So listen, old people buy books too. But anyway, I'm on Facebook for those of you who care. But I'm also on Instagram, Snapchat, Dre Baldwin. My Twitter is @DreAllDay. Make sure you get my first book, Buy a Game. It is free. Click the link right here below in the video description. I'm on all your favorite social media platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. All the links are right down here below. Is either Dre Baldwin or DreAllDay on each one of those sites. And make sure you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button down there and the thumbs up like button. Subscribe so you catch all the new content. I work on your game. Dre all day.